G'day there guys, my name's Marky, let's go. Am I the asshole here for firing my sister after she exposed our family's darkest secrets at work? Hi everyone, I, 28 female, am the founder and CEO of a small tech company that I've poured my heart into over the past 5 years. 6 months ago, my younger sister, 24 female, lost her job due to downsizing. Despite our rocky relationship, we are polar opposites, I decided to hire her. I'm introverted and value privacy. She's extroverted and often speaks without thinking. Initially, things went smoothly. She brought enthusiasm to the team, and I was hopeful this could strengthen our sisterly bond. However, I began noticing colleagues giving me odd looks and whispering when I wasn't around. During a team lunch, one employee casually mentioned a deeply personal family incident, joking about it as if it were common knowledge. I was stunned. I pulled my sister aside and asked if she had been sharing personal family stories. She admitted she had, saying that it helped her connect with others and that it was no big deal. I stressed that our family's history is private and that discussing it at work was unprofessional. She brushed me off, calling me overly sensitive. A couple weeks later, I discovered that she'd told several employees about our parents' tumultuous divorce and even shared that our mother had struggled with substance abuse. A painful chapter that we've worked hard to move past. This wasn't just embarrassing, it felt like a profound betrayal. I confronted her again, but she accused me of trying to control her and said I was letting my CEO status go to my head. Realizing that this was jeopardizing not only my reputation, but also the company's culture, I made the difficult decision to terminate her employment for breaching confidentiality and unprofessional conduct. She was furious, accusing me of choosing work over family and vowing to never forgive me. Our parents are now involved and believe that I overreacted. They think that I should have been more understanding and given her another chance. This whole situation has left me questioning myself. I feel guilty for firing her, but also feel that I had to protect my company and personal boundaries. So Reddit, am I the asshole here for firing my sister after she exposed our family's darkest secrets at work? In the comments, Cyclone11 says, "Are you sure your sister lost her previous job to downsizing? Sometimes that is the excuse used to get rid of troublesome employees. Either way, not the asshole. No one can survive the blatant hits to the companies and your reputation and have it end well. Case of mess around and find out for sure. Not the asshole. You didn't choose work over family at all. She chose to divulge personal and private information that could damage your reputation and your company's reputation. You chose to get rid of a problematic employee, period, and you did give her warning. Exactly this. I got my sister a job at my place of employment. I'm a nurse. I recommended her for a unit secretary job. All her prior experience was working at McDonald's, and they hired her. And she did the exact same thing and destroyed the reputation that I worked a decade to build. I now haven't spoken to her in a decade, and it was the best decision I ever made to cut her off. She was an absolute boundary stomper. Good job and not the asshole. I've gone out on a limb for people and had them burn me like that. I basically no longer do this unless I very strongly believe that someone is a good hire, because you're basically attaching your reputation to theirs. Exactly. I learned a very valuable lesson from that incident. Family and workplaces rarely mix. This goes for so many other things as well. Family doesn't mix with employment, money, property ownership, leasing property, parenting advice, etc. So much fuel for broken relationships. Not the asshole. Your sister crossed serious boundaries, and work isn't the place to air personal family drama. You gave her chances, but she didn't respect your privacy or professionalism. You had to protect your company. I'm on board with all of that advice personally, and I feel like this sister should have known that she had this coming. I do believe that she didn't get downsized. I feel like she got kicked out of that workplace for being who she is. Maybe she needs to have a look in the mirror and change who she is, because this is just going to keep happening. Or is it going to be the case of someone that walks around everywhere smelling dog shit but never checks under their shoes? Because there's no way in hell it could be their shoe that smells like dog shit, it's gotta be everyone else. Either way, you're not the asshole for this one, OP. She had it coming, and, maybe it's time to go low contact with her if she doesn't learn her lesson. Update, a few hours later. So I reached out to a friend who still works at the company where my sister was previously employed. He confirmed that she was indeed fired, but not just because of the downsizing that she mentioned. According to him, she had a knack for orchestrating gossip and creating conflicts among co-workers. She would spread rumors and stir up drama, which led to a toxic work environment and decreased team morale. Her behavior was disruptive enough that the company decided to let her go to preserve the integrity and productivity of the workplace. Hearing this from someone who was there really reinforces my decision to terminate her employment at my company. It seems that her pattern of behavior has consistently caused problems wherever she goes, and I had to prioritize the well-being of my team. Thank you all for your continued support and understanding as I navigate this difficult situation. Latest update. Spoke to my parents about her actions a few hours later. Hi everyone. I wanted to share an update on the situation with my sister. I recently had a detailed conversation with my parents about the rumors that she was spreading at work, especially regarding her substance abuse and our parents' divorce. I explained how her behavior was disrupting the workplace and shared these specific complaints from employees who felt uncomfortable. Additionally, I informed them about what a friend who still works at her previous company had told me, that she was fired for orchestrating gossip and creating conflict among co-workers. My parents are now very angry with her for sharing our family's private matters and for causing turmoil in my company. They have also apologized to me for not recognizing the severity of the actions sooner and for any additional stress that this has caused our family. Having their support has been a huge relief and reinforces that I made the right decision to prioritize my business and team. Thank you all for your continued support and understanding during this difficult time. In the comments, Zealous Ideal Low says, "At first I thought everyone sucks here, but after reading the updates, not the arsehole. You said she shared about both your parents' divorce and then the mother's substance abuse. You guys share parents. Your trauma with your parents is also hers. So saying she can't talk about it at work is valid because it does make your employees think about you differently. But she does have the right to share that stuff as much as you do. Because again, it's also your and her shared trauma with both of your parents. But then I saw the updates, and knowing that she has a history of doing this kind of stuff is not okay. You did right by firing her, because she could have potentially turned your employees against you. So not the arsehole for firing her. Boy, with family like this, who needs enemies? The sister is definitely OP's enemy. Hell, she's her own worst enemy, but the enemy of OP's enemy is her friend. So their sister should be their friend. That actually makes sense because she's her own worst enemy because she is self-destructive. So eventually, she's going to do more damage to her own life than OP ever could. Yikes. The sister honestly sucks for sharing what wasn't hers alone to share without thinking of the consequences. Besides, what was the motive? It doesn't make any sense to share something so evidently traumatic to people she didn't know that well. Some people are genuinely addicted to the rush and high that drama creates. As someone with ADHD that went undiagnosed for 21 years, I unintentionally involved myself in drama and other dopamine-seeking behaviors when I was undiagnosed. Because I genuinely didn't realize or understand that my brain was driving me to do anything for dopamine at the expense of myself. But now, with the knowledge and power that diagnosis and proper help brings, I know how to not be such a dopamine chaser and how to not trip and fall face first into drama. I'm not saying that OP's sister has ADHD or any other disorder that causes subconscious dopamine seeking, but the high that drama causes is real. It's not necessarily a fun high, because it's emotionally exhausting and draining, but it's a high. OP's sister only sharing secrets that make her family look bad says it all. The fact that she had a job handed to her and then decided that gossiping was more important than being grateful is crazy. Yup, but hey, that's just some people. Some people heckin' love that drama, and what are you gonna do about it besides reinforce your boundaries when they get stepped on? I'm sure glad that OP did that in this situation. It did seem as though the sister had set off a ticking time bomb, and that if OP kicked the can down the road, this would have only been worse. I imagine OP may not have been CEO any longer with the division that was being orchestrated by their sister. So really, it was best to just remove her as soon as possible. She doesn't earn any sympathy in this situation. Nothing she did was acceptable. Thank you for sticking to your guns in this one, OP, and thank you for sharing your story with us. Our next post is by user Captain Mookie, titled, "My boss had a passing comment of, 'I need to get more from your role to justify the pay. I've been here for a month, and I thought that I've been doing well until now. Should I jump ship?' So a month ago, I joined a small pool construction company as a project manager dealing with permits and design work. I thought that I've been hitting every metric, and in my opinion, I have done everything asked of me. I haven't had any dropped deadlines and have nicely organized the project workflow since I've started. I know there's some room for improvement, as all positions have. However, this comment has left me deeply uneasy. I called to get some clarification, and he explained that they love me and the work I do, but just want to be thorough with the expectations. Should I start looking for a new position, or should I move forward with a goal of heavy improvement?" In the comments, "It sounds like it's not quality of work, but scope of work. Start with a face-to-face one-on-one, align on what an ideal outcome looks like to them, and then evaluate where you stand." OP says, "Agreed. I'll make some time this week to have a talk about it in person. Thanks. Keep a daily work log until you talk to Ask Boss Jerk. Note how long you spend per task and what the task is. For example, call to permitting office while also driving to site. Note start and stop time. Any work task, no matter how small, put it in the handwritten log. Bring to the meeting and ask how you're supposed to cram more in, and then ask Bossman to demonstrate if Bossman says, 'I could do that in 5 minutes.' Cool. Have them get through to the city clerk in 5 minutes. Make them walk the walk. I've done this several times and it's very effective." OP says, "This is exceptionally good advice. Thank you very much. Good luck. It sounds like you're the kind of employee that people dream of having, and they're blinding themselves to how supportive you are of the business. If they're underwater for payroll or something like that, and this is a cash flow problem where they're trying to figure out who they can axe, showing your day-to-day worth and asking them realistically if they could replace that is a good wake-up call. And if the wake-up call doesn't function, then they're probably insane and you don't want to deal with them." And now, onto the update. So yesterday, I landed a new job and was planning on turning in my 2-week notice. This morning, I got a series of texts claiming that I'd not been getting the ball rolling. So instead, I decided to quit. I said, "Good morning to the team at Redacted. Unfortunately, today is my last day working at Redacted. While it was a pleasure to assist you in your CAD and permitting needs, I found the work environment here not satisfying my needs. The late-night texts, after-hour calls, missing paydays, the unfounded claims that I am not getting the ball rolling on our open projects are some of the contributing factors to my decision. Also, the comment, 'I need more from your position to justify the pay,' is a comment that has caused more anxiety than missing a deadline, quitting a job, being berated. I believe there are better ways to set expectations for your employees than to devalue them as an asset of the company. Additionally, there are multiple occasions where I have not received full payments during paychecks and multiple occasions of my mileage not being reimbursed, both of which are incredibly unprofessional. Now, I don't mean to aim these comments towards anyone other than Jason. Everyone else I have interacted with has been nothing but a delight. Best wishes, and genuinely hoping for your success, OP Captain Mookie." Edit. For those comments saying that this isn't career advice, you are correct. This is an update to the career advice that I received a few weeks ago. In that post, many people of the subreddit expressed anger at the comment and suggested to get a new job. I did intend on giving my 2 weeks, as many said to do, but I was met with some pretty unprofessional texts. When I was met with that, and with the fact that I already accepted the new job, I just decided to quit on the spot. I'm not here to provide any advice, and the comments section is correct. Give 2-week notice. 99% of the time, that's the correct thing to do. But in this case, for me personally, it was not the right thing to do. I accept any negative comments and will acknowledge there's a lot of sense to what is being said. That being said, If given the option to do this again, I would do it exactly the same way every single time. Edit. So many of you have asked, and I wanted to provide more context. I no longer have access to the texts, so please forgive me. After leaving the company, within 1 hour, I was locked out of my designated phone, email, and my laptop was left at the office, as it was company property. In the morning of, before I made my decision, I was met with texts, and this was the exchange. Him. Hey, before I get in, please remind the office manager to help you compile all of our permitted projects. Also, have her review with you all of the inspections for the jobs you did before you got here. And I said to him, sounds good, will do. He replies, no, not good. You're supposed to keep the ball rolling on these projects, and that is what we are paying you for. A lot of this needs to be wrapped up, and I cannot rely on you to get these things done. I did not respond. I do keep the ball rolling, but as some of you may know, there is a lot of paperwork involved during the permitting process that requires information that only he has. I have emailed him in the past stating, this job needs insurance information for an encroachment, or this job needs payment for permit issuance, or this job failed permit because we need specific engineering detail that is incorrect or not provided. Stuff like that. I get the job as far as I can, and I inform him of the roadblock. That's how it's always been. I even keep a detailed Trello board with my last exchange, requesting for information or confirmation of permit paid and issued. For extra context, in the 4 months that I've been there, I have permitted 11 jobs there. Which is not a crazy number, but it does illustrate that I am rolling the jobs when I can. That was the claim that upset me, because I keep a very detailed list of jobs that are in process, and have always informed him of where our projects stand. For him to claim that I'm not keeping the ball rolling, when our hang-ups are primarily waiting for information that only he can provide, upset me. So I wrote the letter that I sent in the morning. Now, after I decided to leave, I had a meeting with him, and things were tense. I explained in person that the comment from a few weeks ago had caused me a lot of distress, and he tried to walk back his intentions. I told him that it's fine, and that I still would move on with this new job. I lied to him about the new employment so that he would have less information to interfere. During the night, right before dinner, the typical time that he texts me, he says, "Hey, I just want to let you know that if those comments that I said made you uncomfortable, you should have come and talked to me. FYI, I did over the phone. And that we paid you a lot of money for not having a license and being fired from multiple jobs." Which got me so mad. So you have a little bit of background information about myself. I have had 4 jobs in the past 12 months. But before you judge me, here are my explanations. Job 1, left on good terms. I was looking for more earning potential for my growing family, still love this employer. Job 2, left because I did not enjoy the job at all. I know that's a weak explanation, but that's the truth. My heart was just not in it. Job 3, left because the owner was a legit racist. We drove along a street with other residential construction projects, and he legit said in this exact phrase, "That is the rinky-dinky Asian operation." That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't blame you for leaving, OP. What's wrong with this guy? They should be ashamed of themselves, the work they put out. And job 4, this job the post references. So this is just to explain that I have not been fired once. Never. I chose to leave, and the comments of the educational background thing, they just hurt. I was a bad student. I know that. But I didn't think personal attacks were on the menu. I wish I could tell you that I told him off further. I wish I could tell you that I stood up against him again, but I didn't. I decided to just wish him the best, and I deleted his texts, like an idiot, and blocked his number. So that means that I may have accidentally tied my hands behind my back when trying to pursue legal action, but I don't think I'm going to. I think, at most, I will file a complaint for shady business practices. Practices that include late paychecks, missing wages, missing mileage reimbursements, paying exact hourly wage, no taxes, which has also been a huge form of anxiety. I want to file a complaint, but also do not have the funds to cover any missing tax amounts. I am listing this information because I don't have any legal knowledge, and maybe someone can direct me in the right direction. In the comments, I am not the mama says, the second they screw up your pay, it's time to bail. I did one of those jobs almost 40 years ago, worked for 2 months, and got paid for 2 weeks. Because of what I was learning, it was worth staying that long, cheaper than school and training, but I was glad to leave. My mum had this happen, not to her specifically, but to other people at work. A few of her co-workers didn't get paid or didn't get the proper amount. There were lots of other messy things happening. People would show up to their job and say the company wasn't paying them. This was a vendor. You know things are bad when the vendors show up at the actual business looking for payments. Soon after, the company shuts down. Not paying employees is usually one of the first signs. If you're not getting fully paid or your full mileage reimbursed, that is not only unprofessional, it's illegal. Talk to the labor board of your state. Sometimes small businesses are doomed to fail because the owner is a prick. The paycheck F-ups are a big sign that there is funny business going on behind the scenes. Either the boss is bad at their job, or someone is moving money that shouldn't be moved. Leaving was honestly the best option to deal with this. Agree. And we'll add that if there are missed paychecks, then also zero reason to give 2 weeks notice. Beyond basic decency being a two-way street, why work an extra 2 weeks that you'll then have to fight to be paid on? And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!